Have you ever felt drained, as if your life energy was being sapped? That eerie sensation when a person leaves you feeling confused and questioning your own reality is all too real. What if I told you there's a reason why we often describe narcissists as soul suckers or emotional vampires? Have you noticed how after interactions with certain people, you feel utterly depleted, yet can't exactly pinpoint why? The parallel between narcissistic behavior and demonic traits goes deeper than metaphor. It's a framework that might finally help you make sense of the chaos you've been experiencing. Understanding this connection could be the key to reclaiming your peace. The unsettling reality of narcissistic relationships. Have you ever walked away from someone feeling completely drained, like something vital was taken from you? Not just tired from a difficult conversation, but empty in a way that feels almost physical. Your energy gone, your confidence shattered, your sense of reality blurred. This isn't the normal fatigue that comes after dealing with difficult people. This is something deeper and more disturbing. And if you've experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Relationships with narcissists create a unique kind of emotional wound. You might find yourself searching for words to explain what happened, but nothing quite captures the experience. You tell friends, "I don't know, there's just something wrong about how they treat me." But that doesn't begin to describe the depth of your confusion and pain. When you try to explain these interactions to others who haven't experienced narcissistic abuse, they often respond with well-meaning but unhelpful advice like "stand up for yourself" or "don't let them get to you." These comments only deepen your isolation because they reveal that others don't understand your reality. As Sarah, one of my clients, described it, I would leave conversations with my ex feeling like I couldn't trust my own memories. He'd deny saying things I clearly heard him say hours earlier. Friends told me to just communicate better, but they didn't understand I was living in a completely different world with him. This isolation leads to profound self-doubt. Maybe you are too sensitive. Maybe you are overreacting. Maybe this is just how relationships work, and you need to toughen up. This self-doubt is exactly what the narcissist wants. It's part of their strategy to keep you confused and under control. The truth is that narcissistic abuse feels different because it is different. There's a reason why many survivors, therapists, and researchers turn to powerful metaphors to describe these interactions. When someone says dealing with a narcissist feels like a demonic experience, they're trying to capture something that goes beyond normal human selfishness or conflict. This comparison isn't meant to be literal. I'm not suggesting narcissists are actual demons or possessed by supernatural forces. Rather, this framework gives us language for feelings and experiences that otherwise seem impossible to describe. There are patterns in narcissistic behavior that match up with what many cultures throughout history have described as demonic influence, manipulation, deception, energy draining, and a strange emptiness behind the eyes. When you start to recognize these patterns, something powerful happens. The confusion begins to clear. You realize that your perceptions weren't wrong after all. The strange, unsettling feelings you had were your intuition trying to protect you. The behavior you experienced wasn't normal, and your reactions were completely reasonable. This validation is often the first step toward healing. When you can name what happened to you, when you can identify specific tactics and patterns, you take back your power to define your own reality. The narcissist no longer gets to tell you what you experienced or how you should feel about it. Many survivors describe an almost physical sense of relief when they first learn about narcissistic behavior patterns. "That's exactly what happened to me," they say. "I'm not crazy after all." This recognition doesn't immediately heal all wounds, but it opens the door to recovery by confirming that your perceptions were accurate all along. Why do some people describe dealing with a narcissist as a demonic experience? Because these interactions violate our most basic human expectations in ways that feel unnatural and deeply disturbing. Normal human connections involve empathy, mutual respect, and basic honesty. Even in conflict, But narcissistic relationships lack these fundamental qualities, creating an eerie sense that you're dealing with something that doesn't follow the usual rules of human interaction. The narcissist seems to understand human emotions, not to connect with you, but to exploit them. They observe your reactions with a cold detachment that feels predatory. They can cause immense pain and show no remorse. They can look you in the eye and deny something you both know is true. They can show affection in one moment and cruel indifference the next. These behaviors create a sense that something is profoundly wrong, something that goes beyond normal human failings. This inhuman quality makes narcissistic abuse particularly traumatic. Your brain can't process or predict their behavior using your normal understanding of human psychology. The inconsistency keeps you constantly off balance. You can't reason with them because they aren't operating from the same reality. You can't appeal to their empathy because they don't experience it the way you do. Over time, this state of confusion and emotional manipulation takes a serious toll. Your nervous system stays on high alert. Your brain works overtime trying to make sense of contradictory messages. Your self-trust erodes as the narcissist convinces you that your perceptions are wrong. These effects aren't just emotional, they're physiological. Your body is responding to a threat it can't quite identify. The demonic comparison helps explain why narcissistic abuse feels so different from other relationship problems. Their behavior seems to operate outside normal human patterns in ways that feel almost supernatural in their ability to cause harm. For many survivors, this framework provides a map through the confusion. It validates the sense that something unnatural is happening. And most importantly, it helps you see that the problem isn't your perception, it's their behavior. As we explore the 7 specific behaviors that create this demonic-like experience, you'll likely recognize patterns that have been causing you pain. Each behavior builds on the others, creating a system of control that can feel impossible to escape. But understanding these tactics is the first step to breaking free. At the foundation of all narcissistic strategies is deception. Like the archetypal trickster, the narcissist uses lies and manipulation to create an alternate reality, one where they're always right, always the victim, and always in control. Let's look more closely at how this deception works. Masters of deception. Reality distortion. What if the person closest to you was constantly rewriting your reality, making you question your own memories? Imagine hearing your partner say something hurtful, only to have them look you in the eye hours later and claim they never said it. You remember it clearly, the words, the tone, even where you were standing. But they deny it with such conviction that you start to wonder if you imagine the whole thing. Narcissists create an alternate reality through consistent, deliberate lies and manipulation. They construct an entire false world and expect you to live in it. What makes this deception so powerful is its systematic and intentional nature. The narcissist lies when it serves their need to maintain control and superiority. They lie when the truth would make them look bad. They lie when reality doesn't match the image they want to project. They create layers of deception that become nearly impossible to unravel. "I never said that" becomes their standard response, even when you're certain of what was said. You might reference a conversation where they promised something important, only to be met with absolute denial, as if the exchange never happened. Like a skilled magician directing attention away from their sleight of hand, the narcissist redirects your focus, making you doubt the evidence of your own experience. What's most unsettling is how convincing they are. When a narcissist denies reality, they often do it while looking you directly in the eye, with absolute certainty in their voice. There's no shifty glance or nervous fidgeting that might signal dishonesty. They rewrite history with complete confidence, as if their version of events is the only possible truth. You might observe them tell one person one version of a story, then tell another person something completely different. appearing equally sincere both times. They don't experience the discomfort most people would feel when telling significant lies. Instead, they seamlessly adapt to whatever narrative serves them in the moment. This constant reality manipulation creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, a state of mental discomfort caused by holding contradictory beliefs. You know what you experienced, but someone you trust is telling you something different. Your brain struggles to reconcile these opposing truths, creating confusion and self-doubt. Over time, you start questioning your own memory and perception. Did I really hear that? Maybe I misunderstood. This self-doubt is exactly what the narcissist wants. It makes you easier to control when you no longer trust your own mind. The effects go beyond momentary confusion. Living in this state of constantly questioned reality changes how your brain processes information. You become hypervigilant, trying to catch and remember every detail so you can't be fooled again. But the narcissist simply denies the new evidence too, leaving you exhausted and unsure of anything. This form of psychological manipulation has a name: gaslighting. The term comes from a 1944 film where a husband deliberately dims the gaslights in their home, then tells his wife she's imagining the change. It's a particularly insidious form of abuse because it targets your basic ability to trust your own perceptions. What's striking is how closely this behavior matches descriptions of demonic deception found in cultural and religious traditions worldwide. Across different societies, demons are commonly portrayed as masters of illusion, who twist reality and lead people away from truth. They're described as beings who can appear sincere while speaking falsehoods, who know human weaknesses and exploit them with calculated precision. These parallels reflect a fundamental human experience of encountering manipulation that feels beyond normal human behavior, something that violates our basic expectations of honesty and shared reality in ways that feel almost supernatural. This reality distortion also serves to isolate you from others. When you try to explain what's happening to friends or family, the stories might sound unbelievable. Are you sure you're not misremembering? They might ask. Or worse, that doesn't sound like them at all. They're always so nice when I see them. The narcissist often presents a completely different face to the outside world, appearing charming and reasonable to everyone else. This creates a painful isolation where you're the only one who sees their true behavior and no one believes your experience. You might eventually stop trying to explain, cutting yourself off from potential support and becoming more dependent on the narcissist's version of reality. Even mental health professionals can sometimes miss what's happening. Without witnessing the behavior firsthand, a therapist might focus on helping you manage your reactions rather than identifying the manipulation causing them. This unintentionally reinforces the message that the problem lies with you rather than with the narcissist deception. So what makes narcissists such masterful deceivers? For most people, there's a shared understanding that objective truth exists. Even if we sometimes disagree about details, we generally try to align our statements with what we believe to be true. But for narcissists, truth is whatever serves their needs in the moment. They don't experience the internal conflict most people would feel when deliberately distorting facts. Their primary reality is emotional. How something makes them feel is more important than what actually happened. If denying something maintains their control, that denial becomes their truth. This is a fundamentally different relationship with reality itself. The narcissist isn't simply telling untruths. They're creating an alternate world where they are always right, always superior, and never responsible for harm. Their conviction comes from genuinely believing in this constructed reality, at least in the moment they're speaking. What enables this reality distortion is their profound lack of empathy. Without the ability to truly understand or care about your emotional experience, they face no internal barrier to manipulating your perception. They don't feel genuine remorse about the confusion and self-doubt they create, because they can't fully comprehend the damage they're causing. This empathy void is the foundation that makes all their manipulative tactics possible and effective. In our next section, we'll explore this disturbing emptiness that allows narcissists to cause harm without remorse.